Hello, this is Colleen Pearl the Cool Crone, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is part 2 of the new moon in Pisces, predictions for all the signs. All right, the first sign up is Aries. And Aries, this new moon configuration is happening in your 12th house. So Aries, you may be wondering about somebody who is far away in a foreign land, or it could be somebody who lives in some sort of cloistered environment, like a child off to college, somebody in long-term healthcare facility, somebody in a religious organization where they kind of stay away from society a lot, but somebody who is not in direct communications with you all the time. You may be feeling a little bit guilty about not staying in contact with them. You may want to reach out, and this new moon is going to be the perfect time for you to do that. Now keep in mind that the planetary arrangements right now are really focusing you on karma and your destiny. I know, what's your true meaning of life? What's your North Star? Why are you really here? So you're going to have a big pull in that direction as well, which is why I say you may be feeling a little guilty about this situation with the person who's far away. We have Venus and Mars and Pluto up here in Capricorn at 27 degrees. So if you have other planets in cardinal signs at around 27 degrees, a few degrees before or after, you may be feeling this. And this would be inspiring you just in general. If it's hitting your 10th house, it may be inspiring you to change your career to something more sexy, literally. You may be looking at your career and thinking, I don't really want to be known for this, at the end of my days. I'd rather be known for XYZ, which might be a career that in your mind seems a little more sexy, a little more attractive. That may literally be what you're thinking. And especially if you do have planets at that sensitive 27 degree mark of cardinal signs, this may be true. Now we also have Uranus and Taurus in your second house, and that's affecting your finances, changing up things all the time. So the idea of changing careers or changing companies or something is not that awful to you. You've probably done it a few times in the last 4 or 5 years, and so it doesn't seem like a big tragedy at all. It may seem exciting. It may seem like something you really, really want to do. We also have Mercury conjoined with Saturn in Aquarius in your 11th house, and so you may be shouldering tremendous responsibilities having to do with some sort of group that you're a part of, or it may be that you're socking money away for your retirement in a very, very planned, measured way that you have decided to focus on for this month. Let's see. I think that kind of covers it. All the things, be sure you watch that part 1 and listen to all the planetary arrangements and what it's talking about when it comes to karma and destiny and the fulfillment of your North Node, which is your destiny. This is a very important new moon, Aries, and you're not going to want to miss the opportunity to really focus in on these things, because the energy, the planetary energy, is really good for supporting you in this right now, so you can really make some headway spiritually, career-wise, professionally, emotionally, in your relationships. It's just a really good time to take a giant leap forward, but you have to know where you're trying to focus that energy. Okay, let's go on to Leo. Now, Leo, this new moon hits you in your 8th house for joint finances. The 8th house is also the house for sex, death, taxes, joint finances, metaphysical things, the occult, certain aspects of spirituality. Specifically spirituality and things having to do with communicating with the dead. That's why metaphysics is in the 8th house, because it's all surrounding death. It's the Scorpio house, right? So you may be really looking at those financial arrangements in your life, your life insurance, your property insurance, all kinds of insurance things, any kind of retirement plans that you're engaged in, any kind of investments, large investments that you're engaged in, or you may simply be doing something like refinancing your house. But joint finances will certainly be a focus this month. Now, also sex, death, and taxes is always a one, and we are coming up on tax season here, so don't forget to do your taxes, Leo. And remember that the sun and the moon that here right now are giving you some supportive energy to be very creative. I wouldn't be creative in your taxes. That's probably not a good idea. But with all the other things having to do with the eighth house, it's a great support to have the planets in this arrangement. Don't forget you have Jupiter right there, so you could expand or enlarge your investments or your joint finances, or you could really delve into and have fun with your sex life, have fun with your partner. And you could enhance gifts, clairvoyant and psychic gifts that you have when it comes to dealing with the other side. So very interesting there. Now, Saturn and Mercury are in your seventh house, so you and your partner are going to be having some very serious discussions probably this month about your joint finances and about other things, but very serious discussions about maybe the parameters of the relationship itself. Then we have the Pluto-Venus-Mars configuration in Capricorn, which is falling in your sixth house. So you could find, Leo, at this time that, like the other fire signs, that you're looking at job changes or career changes, that you're looking at things going on in your career house or your job house where you want to have new people working for you, or you want to do projects with different people. It's partnering. It's about partnership. It's about creating new things and wanting to do that with new people. And you're going to find that you're very persuasive with the higher ups in convincing them of making these changes. So be very careful of what you're choosing, Leo. Don't choose things for superficial reasons that you're going to be tired of in 5 or 6 months, because these are going to be changes that are long lasting and they're going to stick. So make sure you really know what you're asking for, Leo, before you ask for it, because you will get it. The Aquarius planets in your seventh house are squaring Uranus, which means that with you and your partner, there could be some big explosive arguments. There could be some amazing inspirational breakthroughs about your relationship and how you guys want to structure things. So that could be very, very interesting, or it could be, a little scary, those conversations. So walk gently, tread carefully on those conversations. And then we have all the karmic stuff that's going on between Pluto, Black Moon Lilith, Mercury, Black Moon Lilith, lots of that stuff. Listen to my video, part 1, that is about the new moon. I go over all the details of what's happening between those planets, and I give the degrees of where those planets are falling so that you can look at your natal chart and see if it's falling on a sensitive degree for you. Because if it isn't falling on a sensitive degree for you, then it's probably not going to affect you very much. But if it is falling on those sensitive degrees, you should very well take my advice, because you'll be able to take advantage of this very, very powerful and positive energy that's going on during the new moon. Now, I will say one other thing about the 8th house new moon is it is a time for beginning things. So if you want to get into new investments, if you want to open a new, like, IRA or whatever, this is an excellent time to do it. You've got Jupiter on your side. It's going to be a very expansive, lucky, beneficial fund if you get into it now. Same with just manipulating your joint finances right now. This is a very good time to do it because of the Jupiter influence. Now, that's not going to last for long because the new moon is short, so you have to get in there and do it right away. All right, let's go on to Sagittarius. Sag, you've got the new moon configuration happening in your 4th house. So you've got Sun, Moon, and Jupiter in your 4th house right now. This means that there's going to be a focus on the comings and goings of people and the configuration of family in your house. It could also mean that you're thinking very seriously about buying or selling a home, buying the home you live in, or selling the home you live in, or buying a new home, buying a second home, something like that. It could also mean that different people could be coming and going. You could be gaining one resident in the upstairs bedroom and replacing them with another, or you could be getting a new pet. You could be adopting a child. Lots of things could happen with the sun and the moon in your 4th house along with Jupiter. Jupiter expands things. So it could be for you that you're getting a whole bunch of new people into your house, or that a whole bunch of people are leaving and that you like that. I mean, it is in Pisces and that's the endings of things. So that's very, possible, very possible. It's also very creative. So it could be that you and your partner have decided that maybe you want to foster some children, or maybe you want to help out your partner's mother if she's getting elderly and you want to have her come and live with you. There's going to be some kind of a change in the family arrangement, and the decisions are going to be made around this new moon. Now you also have Saturn and Mercury in the third house right now, so plans that you're making right now, communications that you're making right now are going to be very serious, and you're going to tackle some very, very serious topics. And it may seem at first like it's kind of dull, but it won't be dull. It'll be exciting for you to unravel this topic in such a way that you can make it understandable to other people. So that's really, really exciting for you, Sagittarius, because I know you're a bit of an entertainer and you like people to be entertained by what you talk about, but also you're the teacher, the professor, the judge, so you also like illuminating subjects and bringing them to the masses, you know, letting people understand very difficult, thorny topics. And this Saturn conjunct Mercury aspect is just, it's a cup of tea for you that you're going to love. Venus and Mars are in your second house along with Pluto. And Venus and Mars with your second house, this means that you're going to be looking for new partners to enhance your streams of income. You're going to be thinking about ways to increase your streams of income, Venus and Mars being the creation process, Pluto being the destruction of the old and the transformation or resurrection of something completely new, rebirth of something new, rather. So there could be big changes in your money arena. This could be because of the changes in the fourth house with the family, or it could just be something that you've been working on for a while, and now you finally have all of the dominoes lined up in such a way that you can, push the first one down and everything happens in a row. Capricorn, second house is not an easy second house because you're very demanding of yourself. You require that you work diligently to have your streams of income be profitable. But I have no doubt, Sagittarius, that you're also very creative. And this new moon is very creative, the Pisces new moon. So I think that you're going to enjoy this new moon, and I do encourage you to look at your streams of income and see where you want to maybe change things up a little bit, because the planetary aspects for that are really, really good for you right now. And moving on. And we're going on to the earth signs. Let's start with Taurus. All right, Taurus, so you've got the sun and the moon in the 11th house. This is a very creative sun and moon, the new moon in Pisces. You've also got Jupiter there. So I'm going to say that your focus this new moon is going to be on getting together with groups of people that you really, really love. And you're going to be finding some new groups that really, really turn you on. And the Jupiter interest there is just going to make it so fun. The gatherings are going to be fun, interesting conversations. You're going to make new friends. It's going to be a very, very nice new moon for you to get through. Also, you've got Saturn in the 10th house along with Mercury. This means that you're really going to be working and thinking about your job all the time. So you're going to be tackling some really difficult issues in your career. Having Saturn transit your 10th house can also mean some delays and difficulties in your career, so don't get discouraged by that, Taurus. And right now, with Mercury coming through, is an excellent time for you to brainstorm about issues surrounding your career or particular issues in your career that you're trying to work on. Either focusing on your own marketing and branding, or focusing on the actual job that you do in your career and tackling some really difficult subjects. In the 9th house, you've got Pluto, Venus, and Mars. So for the 9th house, which is the house for higher learning, for mysteries, for the legal profession, for things having to do with publications and the internet, you may be thinking of starting something really new, some new partnership or relationship having to do with somebody who can bring you into these spheres. So, possibly it could be going back to school, but I think if you're past that age where you would want to go back to school, probably you would be starting up a new vlog or writing a book, or starting some kind of a new project having to do with 9th house topics that would come to fruition probably by 2024. So I'm looking at some long-term project that you're able to start with a partner that would be very successful, but the culmination of the project would be 2024. And that's when you're really going to reap the rewards of this project. All right, moving on from Taurus, we have Virgo. Virgo, this new moon, oh, what a lovely new moon for you. This is happening in your 7th house. So this is going to put a focus on your relationships, and you've got Jupiter there too. So I'm guessing that this could be you and your partner welcoming somebody new into your life. It's expanding your relationship. And if we're talking about a traditional marriage between two people, that usually means children. So I'm going to say maybe the announcement of a pregnancy, a new baby, an adoption, a fostering, something like that, that you're bringing somebody new into your relationship, and that will change your relationship, but for the better. Um, it can also mean that you and your partner are just examining your relationship and evaluating it, and maybe deciding to take a second honeymoon or do something else to reaffirm the commitment of your relationship to one another. We've also got Pluto, Venus, and Mars in your fifth house for fun. So you're going to have some serious fun. Pluto is always pretty serious, but Venus and Mars can be quite fun. Now, be careful of this, Virgo, because this could also have you attracting other partners. So you could be looking at a love affair, and I want to caution you on that. If you've got this great relationship going on up here, why do you want to muck it up with an affair? But that's what that would indicate with Venus and Mars in your fifth house. However, it doesn't have to mean an affair. Again, it could mean a new life coming into your life, like a baby or a new or a fostering or an adoption or something like that. So very much so focusing on children, if that's your bent. I mean, it could be a love affair, but let's focus on something a little more on the up and up here. So I'm going to say possibly a new child, and this could be just a profound blessing in your life. With both Venus and Mars there, you could even be looking at multiple children, who knows, because Venus and Mars have to come together for the creation process, and they are coming together in your fifth house, which means children. So I'm saying, boom, somebody's getting pregnant, or somebody's having a baby. All right, so Virgo, what else can I tell you here? Saturn and Mercury are in your house for work and health and pets. And so there's going to be a lot of responsibility placed on you in your job. You could be having some kind of a health issue, but it will be one that comes to the surface and you have knowledge of it pretty soon. So you will be able to take care of it. And you'll have the energy there with Mercury and Saturn to take care of it, to really address it head on and not to put your head in the sand about it. Be sure to watch the part 1 of the new moon video so that you get all the information about all the planets that have to do with karma and destiny, because it's a really big new moon when it comes to those things, because a lot of the planets are hitting the nodes, and also Black Moon Lilith. So it's a really important video to watch. And if you do, then you'll know what I'm talking about when I say that this is not a time in your life to sort of like, oh yeah, I watched the video, but I didn't really pay attention. You need to pay attention, because there's things going on astrologically that can really help you right now, that you can use that energy to really push forward in certain areas of your life. And for you this month, it's going to be the 5th house and also the 7th house with the new moon right there. Very creative, very artistic here. I'm not seeing any damage to the relationship here. Of course, I don't have your chart in front of me, but just on a general overview. But the 5th house thing with the Venus and Mars, and then also Pluto there, that always, Venus with Pluto and Mars with Pluto, these always have very, very sexual connotations. So if it isn't bringing another child into your life, then it could be a love affair, and that's why I'm kind of cautioning you against that, Virgo. All right, let's go on to Capricorn. Capricorn, you have the Sun and Moon in Pisces in your 3rd house along with Jupiter. So you're going to be thinking about learning. You're going to be thinking about communications. You're going to be maybe amping up your communications or being very creative about your communications. Also, this could influence your everyday life, your everyday routine. It could mean that you're doing a lot more in your everyday routine, and you may feel a little overwhelmed at the end of it. Fortunately, the new moon only lasts about 2.5 days. It is coming in at 12 degrees of Pisces, so you're going to have a full maybe day and a half of the whole Pisces influence of this full moon. So it's not going to be terribly long. But Jupiter's going to be here for a while in your 3rd house, and that's what's expanding your everyday routine. Now, it could also be expanding relationships and having you reconnect with siblings or people you've lost touch with from your childhood. That's another aspect of this. Then we have, in the 2nd house, you have Saturn and Mercury. This means that you're going to be really focusing on your streams of income. You're going to be looking at ways to tackle challenges and problems that you've had with your streams of income probably over the past year and a half, and you're going to be trying to take care of those things, maybe consolidating credit cards, refinancing, maybe buying your car instead of leasing your car. Things like that are going to be coming into focus with this new moon because of Saturn and Mercury in the second house right now. Saturn is causing you to work, Mercury is causing you to think. And so anything that really needs some diligent attention, this is the time to do it. March 2nd, the new moon, this is the time to really take care of those things. Let's see. Oh, we've got Venus and Mars and Pluto in your first house. So you know that you're going to be very attractive during this period. You're going to be attracted to others. They're going to be attracted to you. You're going to have that Venus-Pluto, Mars-Pluto thing going on where if you just, sniff one way, you're going to have somebody who wants to go out with you. So if you're single Capricorn, you're probably going to be coupling up in the month of March because you've got so much power and energy going on in this first house with that Venus-Mars conjunction. Don't waste it. Get a new haircut, buy some new clothes, get yourself out and about on the town so that you can be seen and so that you can meet people if you are indeed looking to get into a new relationship. If you're not, then I want you to wine and dine your partner and really enhance and encourage and reinvigorate that relationship so that it doesn't sort of, settle into the humdrum. Okay, Capricorn, that's it for you. Now we're going on to the air signs. And the first one up is Gemini. Okay, Gemini, you've got this new moon in your 10th house along with Jupiter, which means that everything's coming up roses for you in your career. Jupiter in your 10th house is a great transit to have, and you're going to have this. You had it a little bit in 2021, and you're having it for most of 2022. It is going to dip into Aries for a portion of 2022, and then it retrogrades back into your 10th house. So make hay while the sun shines, Gemini. Jupiter only spends about 12 months in a sign. Even with the retrogrades and stuff, it'll retrograde out, it'll come back in, and all total you'll get about 12, maybe 13 months of that Jupiter in that sign. So make the most of this for your career. Now with the new moon here, the sun and the moon in Pisces, you've got a big dose of creativity and intuition and empathy and sensitivity to the public, to what's going on with the public. And Gemini, if I know you, you probably do something that puts you out in front of the public because you're very good at speaking and communicating. So this new moon is really going to give you a boost to do something new, something different, to really again catch the public's eye, again invigorate their interest. So if that's your goal, if your marketing strategy is to come up with something new in March, well, that's the day to launch it, is the new moon, March 2nd. Jupiter there will ensure your success. It'll give you a lot of optimism, a lot of happiness. It'll make you feel like you're on top of the world. And basically, you just can't miss. Now, you also have Saturn and Mercury in the 9th house. So if your business has anything to do with the internet or space, the publication industry, the legal industry, a few other industries, things that go out to the wide masses. Now, with Saturn and Mercury there, it means that you're able to really tackle tough subjects. You're able to really do the research, do the tough mental challenges that are required for that, and you will prevail. So while all that's happening, again, for your career, if you're doing anything where you're trying to update your brand or improve your brand, improve your profile, improve your image, tackle some difficult subjects and put them out there for people, this new moon is really the time to do it. And Saturn and Mercury will work very well for you. Mercury is your ruling planet, so it's going to be strong for you in Aquarius because that's your sister sign. Then we also have in your 8th house, we have Pluto, Venus, and Mars that are showing us the creation principle in your 8th house. Now the 8th house is sex, death, taxes, transformation, rebirth, the occult, the metaphysical world, and your joint finances. So all of those things could be subject to you trying to create something new and working with partners that you can convince of things. So try not to do that in a dark way, Gemini. Try not to convince the bank to give you a loan when you really can't afford it. Don't do things like that. But know that you can employ the assistance of people as partners really in the area of your eighth house. So in the area of like insurance, loans, retirement funds, investments, all of those worldly things take place in the eighth house, and you've got Venus and Mars there giving you a lot of creation power. So if you want to make new investments, if you want to look at your retirement fund as it exists now, if you want to update your life insurance, anything like that, this would be a really great time to do that because you have a lot of power in that area. If you're waiting for a court case to settle, probably means that you're going to get a big, huge windfall with Venus and Mars there and Pluto. And whatever changes you make now, Gemini, just know that they're going to be long lasting. Pluto plays for keeps. So it's probably going to be in place for the rest of your life, whatever it is that you're setting up now. Just be aware of that. And this aspect is not going away after the new moon. This is going to be here through the whole month of March. So you don't necessarily have to rush to get these all done, but making the decisions, since you have the Jupiter, Sun, and Moon lined up here for yourself, making those decisions on the new moon and then carrying them out for the month of March is really the thing to do. And I think that's pretty much it for you, Gemini. Like I said to all the signs, please be sure to watch the first part of this video so that you can get all the other planetary interactions that have to do with destiny and karma, because it's really important this month. All right, let's move on to Libra. Libra, you have the sun and the moon in the sign of Pisces in your 6th house. And this is going to make you very creative when it comes to your work. Also, your health. Your health is probably very strong right now. You've got Jupiter in this house as well. And on the new moon, it is conjuncting the sun and the moon. So your health is good. So let's look at your job. Your job, this could mean expansion in your job. This could mean new creativity. This could mean taking on new projects, and also people changing on your job. So you could have people leaving leaving the company that you're at, or new people coming in, or both at the time. Whenever the moon hits a place in your chart, that's changeability. That means that people may be coming and going, especially women. But you've got the sun there too, so it could be men too. You've got Saturn and Mercury in the 5th house, which means that you're really going to be focusing on things having to do with the 5th house, which are love affairs, things that are fun like vacation, sports, the stock market, which appears to be some sort of a game to most people, and games of chance, literally games of chance. So like playing bingo down at the church hall. So you're focusing on the 5th house. Oh, children. God, how did I forget children? Children and pets. Pets can also be, I throw pets into all 3 of these houses. Depends on the planetary arrangement of what's going on. But children and pets traditionally go into the 5th house. So with Saturn there, and Mercury, watch the health of your pets. There could be some sort of bone issues going on for your children or your pets, right now. So just be very careful with that. Saturn could also mean separation. So it could mean that your kids are going away. And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe them going away for the summer, or plans for them to go away for the summer, or an extended educational study abroad or something like that. So you've got something going on in the 5th house with children or pets, and it may have to do with separation. On the other hand, it may have to do with intense research and study, because Saturn coupled with Mercury would mean intense research and study. So any of those things could be happening for you this month, Libra. And then in your 4th house, Libra, you've got Venus and Mars conjunct with Pluto. So this is a very powerful aspect, and this means that there's going to be something going on having to do with your house, or the real estate that your house is on, or your family structure. Pluto there with the 4th house, that could mean that you're really delving into the ideas of what does my family do? How does my family carry on after I'm gone? You could be really looking at wills and things having to do with trusts for your kids and things like that. But Venus and Mars in that house have to do with creation, with new things. So you could be looking at possible pregnancy, or bringing a new person into your family, maybe adopting, maybe fostering. And so the structure of your family and how your family will be taken care of and their security is a big focus for you this month, Libra. And be sure to watch part 1 of this video where I talk about all the planetary aspects in detail and how they affect everyone. And I also give the degrees of all the planetary placements so that you can look at your own chart and see if that's going to hit you in any way. Because if the degrees are off, if they don't really hit in your chart, then the aspects really don't do anything for you. All right, so let's move on to Aquarius. Aquarius, you've got the sun and the moon in the second house, and this has to do with your streams of income, and you've also got Jupiter there. So this means you could really be increasing your streams of income quite nicely in the month of March. You'd be very creative about it. You would dream up new streams of income, and Jupiter would expand that and bring it luck and bring it success. So this is good, 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 and good. In the first house, you've got Saturn and Mercury, so you may not be feeling like, hey, I'm all that, because Saturn tends to bring us down just a little bit. But Saturn with Mercury allows you to do intense research and study. So you may be looking at the image of yourself and how you present yourself to the world and thinking up ways of changing that. And you've got plenty of time with Saturn in the first house to do it. But with Mercury coming in now, your brain is kind of speeding up. You're a little lighter. It lightens up your mood, and it makes you feel a little more positive about things. So use this time with the new moon to really, examine, analyze your own image that you're putting out to the world and see if you want to update things a little bit. Maybe get a new haircut or buy some new clothes or something, just to make yourself feel like you're more in the moment, right? And not looking like you were dressing for the last century, because that may be really bringing your image down, and that may be making you feel down. Then we have the 12th house. And Aquarius, I know you've been fighting with this for the last few years with Pluto, right? Pluto's been there since 2008, and that probably isn't too fun, but look at all the cool dreams you've been having. Look at all the spiritual evolvement you've been going through. Look at all the shadow work you've been able to accomplish. Pluto does have a purpose, and it means to root out anything that is weak or defective or corrupt within your life and help you get rid of it. So you've probably released a lot of different things with having Pluto in the 12th house, Aquarius. And so I'm sure by now you probably feel like, you're completely zen and you've gotten rid of all these things that you don't need. But now you have Venus and Mars conjunct with Pluto in that 12th house and almost into Aquarius. Venus and Mars are the creation principle, so they want to start something new. So you may be finding that this is the time for you to find your guru, to find your spiritual teacher, or it could be the time to find a spiritual partner, somebody that you want to fall in love with, that you share spiritual principles with. Or it could just be a plain old relationship, a romance that you're coming into, but that you connect with that person on a soul level, on a very subconscious soul level. It could also be you're just dreaming up different ways of expressing your spirituality. A lot of different possibilities with that 12th house and with Venus and Mars there and Pluto. Whatever is going to be built, Aquarius, I want you to know that it's going to last a long time, because it is conjunct Pluto, the Venus and Mars. And so whatever you end up really creating is not going anywhere anytime soon. Okay, now let's move on to the water signs. And the first sign up is Cancer. So Cancer, you've got this beautiful creative water sign new moon in your 9th house. So if you do anything on the internet, if you vlog, if you have a YouTube channel, if you're on social media, this new moon is going to be really fun for you. You've got all that water sign creativity going on, all the intuition, all the empathy, and then add Jupiter. So you can put it out there to the masses. It will amplify. This is the month that you're going to get your viral video or your viral TikTok thing going, because it's going to expand everything that you put out there on the internet with computers and space and everything like that. So very exciting for you, Cancer. Very fun new moon. I think you're really going to enjoy it. It could be also that you're making plans to travel the world, to see other parts of the world. Now that things are kind of dying down with COVID, you may be able to do that more easily, and you may have the means to do it. You've got Jupiter there, which is also a planet that loves travel and loves to take you different places and find out about different cultures. You also just may be plain more interested in other cultures and people and religions right now than you usually are, and you may be studying those things. Also with Jupiter there, that puts an emphasis on study as well. So a lot of different things that could be happening for you, Cancer, during this new moon in your ninth house, and I hope you really enjoy it. Now, you've also got Saturn and Mercury in your eighth house here, where we look at sex, death, taxes, joint finances, the metaphysical world, the occult world, things that are hidden, things that people don't like to talk about because they like to keep it private. Now, the 12th house is things that people want to forget about, right? even up to their subconscious. But the 8th house is things that people want to hide. There's a difference. So Saturn and Mercury there are going to make you do some real work, some real legwork, research work, really delving into how do we improve our joint finances, how do we restructure our retirement plans, our insurance, our investments, our loans, all of that stuff. You also may be looking at trying really completely different things with your sex life. You could be looking at doing different things with your taxes, or restructuring your taxes, or restructuring your financial plan for you, your partner, or maybe even your company. So very interesting there, Cancer rising. And don't forget that you still have Pluto in the 7th house. But this month, now along comes Venus and Mars as a couple, and they conjunct with Pluto. So this is the creation factor, right? A new life, a new thing. So this could be really great for the relationship that you're in, or if you're not in a relationship, it could mean that you're going to be in a relationship before probably the middle of April. You're going to be in a serious relationship that's going to last for a long time. It could also mean if you are already in a situation where you could do this, you may be welcoming a new person into your life in the form of a new baby, or you're maybe adopting a child or fostering a child, somebody new that impacts your relationship with your number one partner. So that's another way of interpreting what's going on with Venus and Mars in your 7th house with Pluto there. This person that comes into your life, whether this is a new partner or a new just person like a child coming into your relationship, this could be a very long-lasting addition. So know that this is not going to be just for the moment. So this is going to last for a very long time. So that's very exciting, Cancer. So good luck to you with all of that. Enjoy this new moon. I think it's a really nice one for you because it's in another water sign. And let's move on to Scorpio. Scorpio, this new moon is happening in your 5th house of children, games of chance, pets, love affairs, the stock market, games of chance, and sports. So you may be really enjoying yourself in all or some of those areas right now, and throw in Jupiter and you have a real big party, because Jupiter loves to have fun. It's very optimistic. It's very cheerful. It's very confident. So whatever is going on for you in the terms of children, pets, games of chance, sports, love affairs, any of that stuff, you're certainly enjoying it right now, Scorpio, especially on the new moon and probably for most of the month of March. You will find that the expansion here, because Jupiter is here, this could also mean that you're welcoming a new child into your life. So it doesn't have to be just a love affair. It could also be a child. You could be welcoming actually multiple children into your life, and that could be in the form of pregnancy, or it could be adoption or fostering, or some other way. You may just be taking care of somebody's kid for a while. Now, you've got Saturn and Mercury in the 4th house, so you're looking very keenly at your home, the real estate that it's on, and the family structure. So you're not going to take on this new person lightly. You're going to really think it out and make sure that you have the monetary means to take care of that person, and that you're really ready for the commitment that you're taking on. But with Mercury coupled with Saturn in your 4th house, you'll have no problem whatsoever figuring all of that out. Then in the 3rd house is Capricorn, where we find Pluto and also Venus and Mars conjunct. And this is going to make you, well, you've had Pluto there for quite some time, Scorpio, so you've already been revamping your routines and looking at your daily transactions and, you know, cultivating or removing relationships with your siblings. Pluto in the third house could mean that you really just destroy things with your siblings and then build them back up again. That's always a possibility. Venus and Mars there may mean that you may discover new siblings that you never knew you had. So this may be a 23andMe situation where somebody contacts you and says, hey, I did a DNA test and it turns out we may be siblings or cousins or whatever. So that's kind of exciting, Scorpio, and that's the kind of thing that I think would really intrigue you and kind of float your boat. All right, so that's what I have for Scorpio. Let's move on to Pisces. Thank you for being so patient, Pisces. I know this is your new moon, and here you are coming last. But make the most of this new moon. You get one every year, and this is the time for you to go within, examine yourself, get in touch with your body, really get in touch with your feelings, and see what it is that you want to work on over the next 12 months. This is time to make big plans about how you want your life to go, what direction you want to go in. And you've got Jupiter there, so you can really make huge plans. Everything that you're planning right now, Pisces, is probably going to be more exaggerated than you think because of Jupiter. This new moon with Jupiter in it brings you confidence and optimism and luck. So anything that you're planning on doing, including just, you know, simple things like getting a haircut, is going to come out better. It's going to just make you feel better. It's going to boost your confidence and also your health. When Jupiter and the Sun get together, it usually really, really boosts your vitality, gives you more chi, just makes you feel more vital. Now, don't forget that you have Saturn and Mercury in the 12th house, so you are going to be focused on your dreams. Your dreams are where you're going to be doing a lot of subconscious work and maybe even some shadow work while you're sleeping, just to get through some of the things that may have been plaguing you. So make sure that you get enough sleep, but also think about doing some meditation to sort of take the burden off your sleep time so that your body can actually get better rest. And do the meditation in daytime hours, and then you can write down the results of your meditation because you'll remember them better. But Saturn in the 12th house can also mean separation or loss. So I just want to caution you on that sometimes when Saturn hits a house, it can mean a separation of some kind from someone in that house. And in this case, it could be anybody. It could be you separating from somebody that you had a traumatic experience with in the very early part of your life. It could mean somebody in your life now. It could mean almost anyone. And then in your 11th house, you have Pluto, which has been there for forever, since 2008. And also Venus and Mars are there. Now this means that you could be creating a new group and attracting a lot of people to it. You're going to be very persuasive about the group. It's going to be an expression of one of your fondest hopes and dreams. So the group action thing is going to be really exciting for you this month, Pisces. It's really fulfilling a dream. I just want to repeat that. Fulfilling a dream, starting a group for yourself, and then having a group of like-minded people to meet with on a regular basis that can really buoy you. And I don't know what your goal or your dreams really are, but with the planets sitting in your 11th house, it means you're going to be working on that and thinking about that and really focusing on it. And it may seem difficult, but remember, with your new moon right now, you've got Jupiter there, so really anything is possible. So that's what I have to say about all the signs. Thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Please give it a thumbs up, and please, please, please leave me some comments so that I know that you understand what I'm saying, and let me know if I'm, getting too technical or not technical enough, or if you want more of this or more of that, just let me know, or even new topics for videos. I'm always open for that too. Thank you again, and I will see you next time.